Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to today's episode of Visible Women on LinkedIn. Special edition with graduates from my 8 weeks to Visible LinkedIn group coaching program. Now, these women are absolutely fantastic women. And the reason that I'd set up this show in the first place was because there are so many amazing women on LinkedIn who are doing great things in their respective fields, in their areas, and they are being visible about it on LinkedIn. So I just want to introduce you to some of them this very week. And I am really, really, really excited to do that and bring you a great conversation today and tomorrow. And we had one yesterday. Were you there yesterday? Did you catch us yesterday? I would love to know who is tuning in right now. If this is your first time watching Visible Women on LinkedIn, hello and welcome. I'd love to know who you are, what part of the world you're tuning in. Please drop that in the comments and please engage and feel free to really interact in this session because it is going to be interactive. Now, why women on LinkedIn? Why are we talking about visible women? I mean, what is the point of being visible? Now, when I define visible, I am talking about the ability to be seen, heard, and remembered. That's what we want to do. That's what we're trying to achieve when we're being visible. We want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be remembered so that we can increase our influence, our income, and our impact in the world, in whatever field it is that you feel that you're called to. And it's funny, I just mentioned called to because today's conversation with the two awesome women I've got backstage who are going to join us online in just a moment is all about calling. It's all about passion. It's all about passion for your work. So today we are going to be exploring whether it is possible and whether actually should you be going for work that you're passionate about, or is it okay to just go into any field? I'm going to talk to two women who are very passionate about the work they're in and the fields that they're in for the work that they do. And I want you to get involved in this conversation. I want you to let me know about your work and whether you're passionate about your work. But for now, drop a hello in the comments. If you are watching, my name is Mildred Talabi, and I specialize in helping women to start being visible on LinkedIn and beyond so that you can expand your career, expand your business, and as I said, increase your influence, income, and your impact. Now, if you are watching today, I want you to drop a reaction, any reaction you like, because that's the only way I know that you're watching, right? Drop a reaction and drop a hello in the comments, just so I know who you are, where you're coming from. And I am so pleased to see Anna is in the house. Anna's tuning in from Dallas. We've got Marsha, hey Marsha, from North London, and we've got Sharon from Essex. Now, if you were here yesterday, you would have seen the episode of Marsha and Vimala where we were talking about career breakthrough strategies. If you missed that session, go to my LinkedIn page and find it, or go to my YouTube channel. Just type in Mildred Talabi on YouTube and you'll see the whole backlog of what we were talking about yesterday. But tonight, I have got two great guests that I'm about to introduce to you. So the theme today is working from passion. Now, the two women I'm going to bring to you today are both seasoned in this area. They both work from their passion. First one is Amma Anderson. Now, Amma, having worked in the youth sector for more than a decade, is a vocal advocate for young people, and she strongly believes that everyone wins when you invest in the young, in the youth, because young people are the future. Now, Amma is currently working as the CEO of the Skill Spot, an organization which seeks to improve young people's career prospects. She also serves as a trustee for a number of charities. So we're going to talk to Amma tonight, and she's going to tell us more about what she's doing in youth work and her passion in this area. Now, my second guest, another amazing visible woman, is Malaica Nicolas Daceus. And now Malaica is a seasoned construction engineer who has more than 15 years of experience in the sector. Outside of her day job, Malaica serves as a mentor, a champion, and advocate of women in construction and male-dominated industries. Now, she is super keen on diversifying the industry and attracting more women into construction. So those are my two guests. Please give a little drum roll on your keyboard as I welcome to the stage Amma and Malaica. Hello, ladies.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good evening.
Hello, hello,
Hey,
hello.
hey.
Hey, hey.
Hello, hello. Good to have you with us tonight. And I'm so looking forward to our conversation we're going to have today about working from passion. Now, here's where we're going to start. I want to start here. When I was thinking about pairing this interview series, and for those who don't know, the ladies that I'm speaking to this week have all graduated from my 8 weeks to Visible LinkedIn coaching program, which is all about helping you to build that personal brand, build your business, build your presence on LinkedIn. So when I was thinking about the pairings for this interview series, I decided to pair you two together, Amma and Malaica, because I saw a common thread that you were united by, and I felt like both of you are driven by passion for the work that you do. Now, for you, Amma, that passion is in the realm of young people, and Malaica, that's for you, it's in construction, particularly women in construction. So what I would like to know from you both is how these journeys began for you. So talk to us about how you got started in these areas, what your background is. Amma, you can go first, and then I'd love to hear from you, Malika, afterwards.
My journey into youth work. Actually, I was on the journey to engineering in my younger days, and I was studying mechanical engineering. I was going to go on to aeronautical engineering, and what got me into youth work was actually the youth workers at a club that I used to go to when I was in my teens, when I was in college, and the support that they gave me and the opportunities that they gave me to experience the world, to meet other young people in different countries, to serve on the board of trustees as well, made me realize actually this is something that I really enjoy, something that I really care about, and something that I want other young people to experience. So when I was about 17, 18, that's when I started my journey. Went on to do an apprenticeship in youth work and haven't looked back since. Have been doing youth work since then. Have sat on a number of different boards for charities as well as governors as a governor for schools as well, which has been amazing. And yeah, 12 years on, here I am still in the youth work field and still supporting young people.
Fantastic, fantastic. So it was an accidental career into youth work, so
I
to
was
speak.
set on aeronautical engineering and then I don't know, it just changed. Yeah.
Wow, and that's the common thread you both have, because you were going to go into engineering and then got diverted into youth work. Malika actually went into engineering. So Malika, tell us about your journey and how you got to where you are in your career.
So I'll carry the torch for you, okay? Your love is your love, no matter what about that engineering. I'll just carry it on for you. Mind you, I was raised in Haiti, in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and my grandma from the south of Jacmel, part of her income opportunities, 10 kids, was to build home. That was an opportunity. So, raising, uh, seeing that, I would go out, be playing when she would hire people to do the work. So when I entered the United States, it was right about like 14 years old, and I had an opportunity to be mentored. I remember telling my mentor, "This is what I would love to do." I didn't know the name, because remember now, coming in from Haiti into the States, and then you want to study engineering, and this is what you want to do. And she helped develop that for me. So I forever will thank that lady, for clarifying things for me. And and from that point on, I attended school and did some internships. And in 2008, I got my internship in the industry. Um, I loved it since then. I loved it, and since I was 5 years old, and in 2008, like that's where we're gonna do for real. So now, we're 15 years later. I'm not looking back. I'm not looking back.
Oh, that's awesome. So when you went into this, Malika, were you aware at the time that construction was, such a male-dominated industry?
No. Again, remember this comes from a little girl's love. So at that age, you don't your mind is not trained to think like that. And even earlier on in my career, while I saw it, I didn't know later on that it would come with certain challenges. And just other peers, seeing peers coming in and all of that. Um, then it starts to sink in. You start realizing that, okay, I'm not liking the story that I'm seeing in others. I'm not liking maybe even some of the stories, some of the things that happen that I've seen. But as an individual, again, you just keep going along. So some years ago, I'm like, no, we have to turn this narrative around. And
Mm,
it was not happy to speak up or to grab on and say that's what I'm going to do. You are part of the reason why that this thing is becoming so defined. So, and actually being vocal about it. So no, I didn't realize that in my love at first sight. I realized it over time when I saw people coming and going. So that's what I hope to change, that people who come actually stay.
mm,
See
Hmm.
more of the diversity of female in this industry that come to hang around for long term.
Hmm. I love that. Sharon says, I can hear your passions for what you do, ladies, you know. So, yes, we're definitely, and that's what we are going to talk about, passion for what you do, you know. And so, to take it to you, Amma, was there ever a time that you thought about having to choose a job that just paid the bills as opposed to a job that, because let's be real, youth work is not the most
you
profitable sector
know,
in the world, you know. So has that ever crossed
yeah.
your mind, or did that cross your mind initially?
The simple answer is definitely many times. When I was first starting out in youth work, as I said, I did an apprenticeship. I was living at home, didn't really have many bills to pay. I gave some money to my parents and paid my own phone bill, but it was very comfy because there wasn't anything else I was responsible for. But as the years went on, and I have goals for my life, I wanted to get a house, wanted to get married, wanted to do different things with friends and family, and I first saw the JNC pay scale, which is what the pay scale is for youth workers. And I remember seeing a managerial position that was, if you compared to like a managerial position in a private sector or something like that, it was pennies, and I couldn't believe it. And I genuinely, I think I was maybe 22, 23, so I'd already been in youth work for a few years, and I genuinely considered, is this something that I still want to do as my career? Um, what kept me going and what made me decide is actually my dad said to me, while I have the time to do something that I'm so passionate about and that I'm really good at, I should continue doing that, and I should upskill myself in a way that makes me more valuable, and makes me able to step into places where I can be paid more for my work. But actually, in terms of what I want to do for the rest of my life, if it's something that I find as my calling, my vocation, I need to stick with it because not many people get that chance. Um, and so that's what really made me decide. And then years on again, I was thinking, well, I might need to get out of youth work, just as living in London got more expensive. Yeah, some of the goals that I had for myself, I realized actually on this salary, it's not going to sustain, it's not going to make it possible. Um, but I don't know. I think I can't see myself doing anything else. I had the privilege, though, of really good support system in terms of my parents, who were very much like I said, my dad's saying that do what you love. And I had the privilege to be able to do that. Some of the young people that I work with, they do not have the privilege to choose to do what they love. And they need to make money and they need to get into work to pay their bills. But yeah, many a times, even 2 years ago, I was like, should I still be doing this? Do I need to move into a different sector or work with young people in a different capacity, maybe? But the capacity that I work in, where I work face to face with young people and I advocate for young people services and I work policy side as well. My friends always say to me, why are you volunteering your time as a trustee when you get paid to do these things? But it's in those spaces that the decisions that really impact young people are made. So yeah, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. I genuinely couldn't. Yeah.
Hmm. And that's a key to passion, isn't it? Not being able to see yourself doing anything else. Malika, it sounds like for you, your path was pretty much fixed from the time you were a little girl. You had your mindset on going into construction, and you did. Was there any point where you kind of considered anything else, or was that just it's this or nothing for you?
So, first of all, I want to say the best result from that passion, the fact that um you're not showing up every day in the things that you do, somebody cannot sway you based on monetary, superfluous reasons. Matter, not that you don't want it, to go to vacations. And I trust that will, in time, it will, like, you'll just be blessed, and that's all that there will be to it.
Amen. I
Okay,
receive it.
I believe in that. And for my first of all, the love was so much that I couldn't see myself not even being in the now. Have I thought about working for FDOT, transitioning FDOT Florida Department of Transportation, which is more like the governmental side? Have I thought about doing a design which might give me more better hours? Have I thought about, that sector still inside construction? Yes. Yes. Actually, it dawned on me not too long ago that it's like, it's not that maybe at a certain point later on, whenever my God decides to remove, that I will not, but for now, that's where I need to be. And the reason being is as simple as that. At first, I was scared to speak up because said that somebody can terminate my income. Somebody
Mm,
can simply said, okay, I like your truth, but I think we can do something more. And it may come across as complaining, and and that's not what it is. What it simply is there are women, and if all of us are getting to the point where we are not speaking because we are scared of somebody coming into our pocket and taking away an income. And for me, it would be an income for three little year old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Then my is not going to be well sustained. So I turn to my God and I still handle that money part. God, you're literally going to have to, if somebody takes this lady's income, you're going to have to replace it. Okay? I'm intelligent. You're
Mhm.
going to have to open doors. And what I'm finding out, Mildred, is some of those stories are not even stories of women. The men are sustaining some of the stories, but the men are not, it's not, they are able to keep moving and they don't make a thing about it. But it happens in
mm,
greater value to women and it impacts women a whole lot more. So I am making it comfortable so that others can come besides me and say, you are that voice. Maybe now I can start whispering. And later on, maybe now I can start vocalizing it. Maybe now I can have this conversation. I've got plenty of people who have the same
Mhm.
questions, who want things to change, but they just not comfortable, and I cannot force them. As a good friend of mine says, it is their choice. Just as
Yeah.
I've made my choice, and I'm okay that it may come with certain circumstance, certain things, and the Lord will have to provide if that is how things go down.
Mhm. I
It has
love
to
that. There's
change.
some good, yeah, there's some good points you're making there, Malika. But I think we're struggling a little bit with your internet connection. Can you, Amma? Can you hear Malika?
it
Okay.
cut off a couple times, but I was able to kind of make it out. Yeah.
Yes, we can. We can. I don't know
Uh-oh.
if you can plug it in or see if there's anything you can do. Well, and I'll come back to you to pick up
Okay.
on some of the things
Okay.
that you said in just a second. So Amma, what I want to know, you mentioned actually that you've got some really good support systems, and also you mentioned at the beginning, going into this journey of youth work, that it was the youth workers themselves having them around you that made you basically realize this was the path for you. So, can you speak into how important is it to have good support systems and mentors and people around you if you're going to pursue your passion
Mhm.
in the work capacity?
Honestly, someone might disagree with me, but in my experience of working with young people, not just young adults as well, so I work with people up until 30 years old. Sometimes I see it as a make or break of someone. If they don't have the right support around them, whether it be family, friends, teachers, just somebody backing them, somebody as their cheerleader. It can be the make or break of what decisions they make, whether they step into whatever they want to step into with confidence. And I think it's extremely important for that perseverance and that determination to keep on going with whatever it is you want to do, even if it isn't a passion, even if it's just a goal that you have. Maybe it's, I don't know, passing your driving test, or applying for a specific job, or starting out in a career and going forward in a career that might be difficult, or overcoming or persevering through some difficult times. Your support system is what keeps you going. And that's people that I believe there are people that I'm blessed with in my life for a reason, and that is my family, my friends, the youth workers that I had. Without them even knowing, I mean, they were just, a lot of them were volunteers. 10 years ago in the youth work sector, probably actually, still a lot of places, the youth sector was made up of volunteers, doing a lot of work that you should be paid full time for, not being paid very well, or a staff team of maybe one or two people that are paid and the rest youth workers. And the time that they invested in me is something that can never be paid back. Um, I always speak about investing in youth work, and I don't just mean a monetary thing. I mean investing your time, investing your knowledge, investing your skills in young people. It's super important and it's so beneficial to their lives and just a continuation of a better society. So yeah, a support system is extremely important for you being able to reach or fulfill the spaces that you want to step into, and what that support system is made up of is super important, because you can have a support system where they're leaning you in the wrong way. So
Mm.
a support system that is there for your benefit and there to see you succeed in the way that you want to succeed is extremely important. And I do think, unfortunately, it shouldn't be a privilege, but unfortunately, some people don't have that. And that's where you see people not fulfilling the potential that they have, or not stepping into spaces that they really want to step into because they just don't have anybody cheering them on. And I see that a lot, especially when you've got young adults who have been through some difficult times where I don't even know how they're still standing. They've been in some difficult times and no one ever in their corner, and they might have just that one friend that is still small things like checking in on them. Small things like just making sure that they're doing okay, making sure they've eaten for that day, that still keep them going. It's that support system that people need as human beings. Are made to be in relationship with each other, I believe, and we're there to support each other and feed into each other. And that support system can come in many different forms, but everybody needs one. Everyone needs one.
Mm. Yeah, you used the word privilege there in relation to having a support system. Some people might say, and actually, I'd be interested to know if you're watching this live, and I want you to type in the comments or in the replay. If you're watching on replay as well, also type in the comments. I'll be interested to know how many people actually what you're doing today is something you're passionate about in terms of your work. Now, because some people might say that it's a privilege that you get to work in your passion because you're supposed to pay your bills, like work is work. And here's one of the things that I kind of, and a lot of us grow up knowing, or society puts on us, is like you either work in your passion and not be paid well, or you be paid well and do something that you hate, so it's almost like the two can never meet, that
Mm.
you can't work in your passion and also have a well-paid job and just have a good work life. So I'd love to hear your thoughts are around that. And what do you say to somebody who says, well, it's a privilege, both of you, I'd love you to answer this, a privilege that you get to work in your passion because everyone doesn't get to do that.
Can I just say it shouldn't be a privilege?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it is. I don't think it should be. It shouldn't be a privilege that people have a support system. Everyone needs one, and everyone should have one. It shouldn't be a privilege that you get to work in your passion and maybe get paid, or work in your passion and don't get paid well. Everybody should be able to be. Don't get me wrong. I don't love every single aspect of my work. There are days where the young people, I'm like, yeah, but it shouldn't be a privilege. But unfortunately, yeah, that is the case. Yeah.
Mm. What do you think about that, Malika?
So, I think that definitely the source, the choice that you make to be your source of income should come from a place of passion. And it doesn't have to be bold and outspoken passion. Passion shows up in 10,000 ways. Realize I'm a fake extrovert. When I show up everywhere, people think I'm an extrovert, and I truly am not. But that's just the robe that I put on, okay? And I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly okay with that. Fortunately for me, the construction industry does allow me to have a good pay to feed my family. What I am not yet able to get is that work life balance. I'm not even gonna lie about that. As it is right
Mm,
now, I'm working on a project always from my home, and I am sleeping 3 to 4 nights away from my kids. Um, it's a choice that I made. I'm quite conscious about it, and for me to elevate to the place that I want to go, it apparently comes with that bit of a sacrifice, because the empowerment that I seek to give to women will have to come with a status. It will have to come with it. I will have to prove myself. I have to elevate in the business world so that I can make decisions that favor women. I understand that. I have to be able to hire them. I have to be able to speak with them. I have to be
mm,
able to tailor to some of the things, because I will know their struggles because I have had that struggle.
Mm.
As I'd mentioned to Mildred, my two youngest were born during COVID, and I showed up to work. After 10 weeks of maternity leave, I was
mm,
showing up at work because it's construction. Um, I want to be the person that certain things will be difficult, but even a conversation can lead to innovation.
mm,
So the sacrifice is for a greater maybe have changed, and to facilitate other women even right now to bring innovative ideas so that they are able to remain in this industry when they come, because they love it as well. They
yeah.
love it. They just cannot stay based on other things and a lack of communication.
Hmm. Okay. So it's basically what you're saying is it's you've made some sacrifices basically to
Mhm.
be working in the space of your passion, and your kids, you got, is it three under five that you have? Three kids under, are they all under
Three
five?
kids under 5 years.
Yeah, three kids under five working full time in construction,
Wow.
a very male dominated industry, so I'm not sure many of your colleagues understand the challenges that you
Mhm.
juggle as a mother in construction. So I get the passion there. And I want to talk about that in a second. Bakang, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Bakang, thanks for joining us. He says I'm privileged to be working on my passion and have a great support structure in my parents. That's awesome. Well
Mm,
done. Let us know what you're working in, Bakang. And Sharon, I agree with Amma. Shouldn't have to be a privilege to work on your passion. Absolutely not. It definitely shouldn't. Malika, were you going to add something to that?
Yes, I was gonna make you guys laugh. I left work. It was on Friday last week, and to drive and pick up my kids from school. And I had mentioned to a few of my coworkers, I probably will not even get to bed until 11 p.m. Taking them to swimming and then doing everything else. That evening, actually, I didn't get to bed until 2 a.m. because they needed to get their hair done. So I have to prepare everything from like a Friday to Sunday when I have to leave again and go back. So it's kind of like you're working full time at work and you are working like triple the time just to make sure you are getting your family ready to move on. So I want to say that just so that you can see, so that if you are listening to us and you don't have kids, then you can understand a coworker that's having to do that, either man or woman.
mhm.
And if you are a man and you're having to hear that, so that you can maybe hear what your coworker with multiple kids, a very young age, is going through. So that's just why I wanted to share that example. And I woke up
Yeah.
and at like 6 or 7 the next day because they were up again. I'm like,
Yes, my kids are a little bit older than yours. They're 6 and 8, but I get it. I totally understand the challenges for sure. Okay. There's something I want to talk about this idea of a calling. You know, Amma, you've used the words in this conversation, and Malika, I know that from our conversations that you also have a real sense of calling around the work that you do. Amma, can you explain what when you use that word calling, what do you mean by it? And can you talk us through how and why you feel like you're in your calling?
Ooh, I really like this question. Um, for me, as a Christian, it lies very much in hand with my faith and the gifts that I think I've been blessed with. I think I've been made to be a carer and a carer of people and a carer of the world, a steward of the world. Um, and it just so happens to be that that fits within youth work and supporting young people. Some of the young people I work with, they're my age. um, but I think when I say calling, I genuinely mean what I was made to do. Um, and that I genuinely believe that my gifts and where I work best is in service to others. Um, in particular, with my work, like my day job, it very much lies around supporting young people in their careers and their transition into adulthood and kind of being able to move into adulthood in a secure way, and set themselves up in a secure way so that they are able to thrive and are able to not just live life with surviving by surviving, but actually live life where they're living a good quality of life. And I don't know, yeah. I think, like I said earlier on, I couldn't see myself doing anything else because I think my role and what I do within youth work is very wide. You can do so many different things in youth work. Mine just so happens to focus on older, like young adults and careers. It very much comes down to my love for service and caring for people and coming alongside somebody to really kind of motivate and support them. Um, I wish that a lot of the things that I say to young people and the people I work with, I can take on myself. But actually, yeah, it really is something that, as much as the job is tiring and very much, you can get a lot of compassion fatigue in it because the people I work with, they come with complex needs, complex backgrounds. And some of my sessions are very much counseling sessions, even though I'm not a qualified counselor. Um, is something that still fills up my cup. Even if at the end of the day, most days I am tired and I'm falling asleep on the tube and I have to wake up early in the morning anyway and go again the next day. And outside of work, I'm still doing that kind of that work as well. It's something that for the majority of it, I wake up happy to do it every day. And I don't think I would, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't something that I felt I needed to be in this space and be doing this. I just wouldn't be doing it. I'd find whatever it was that I was supposed to be doing. But I genuinely do believe for me and the gifts and the way I see myself as a person and reflecting on it as well. I do a lot of reflection in terms of what should I be working towards and what should I be kind of putting myself into and investing in. Um, I think this just fits very well with my gifts and who I believe that I was made to be as a human being on this earth and what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Mm. Wow, so that's really interesting. Yes, this and I want you to help people in a minute in case they're wondering, all right, what about me? What about my calling? But Malika, what about you? How do you define calling, and how do you know that you are called to do what you're doing?
So, since a young age, I've always loved to see my friends thrive as much as I do, or even more. Um, I have, and I just love to see people succeed and excel. It's a beautiful thing, plain
Mm.
simple. And it has nothing to do with connecting me with their excellence in the sense that if you excel and succeed, therefore you have to look back at me. It's just beautiful in itself. And I have even mentioned to some of my close friends when I saw them studying for either tests, as part of engineering, either the EIT or engineering training or professional engineering licensure, it would be like kind of like a competition. And on multiple occasions, I've said, no, let's not do this. There is space for all of us, either here in this company or in this industry as a whole or in the world. So don't, if somebody else is doing it out of like a competition, don't. So with that being said, I had to realize that I love to see people succeed well. I love to give them positive vibes. I love to motivate. And okay, let's just do that for women, because we need to see women thrive.
Have we lost Malaica permanently now?
Oh no.
No, we don't want to lose. Not right in the middle of
That was
Make
a
doing.
sure
good
that we
sentence
take
coming.
away.
Oh, she's back.
You're back. You're back.
Yes.
Your internet is not being kind to us right now. Can you hear us? And while we're waiting on Malika's internet, if you have a question for Amma or Malika, please drop them in the comments. Or I'd love to, if you're listening to this and you're watching it live on replay, I'd love to know your thoughts about calling. Do you feel like you're in your calling? Do you think there's such a thing as a calling, or do we just go for the jobs that we want because we want them or we're drawn to them for whatever reason? So let me know in the comments. I want to hear your views as well. Malika, are you back with us? I don't think she's back with us. Okay, when she gets back out, we'll continue. We'll pick up where she left from there. So, Amma, where does someone find their calling? So
Oh, she's back.
somebody's listening to this. Wait a minute. Is she back? Are you back, Malika?
Yes.
Okay, Amma, you think about that answer while Malika finishes. You were talking about other people, no competition, and just doing your own thing. So how does that relate to your calling and your sense of I'm doing what I'm called to do?
So pretty much, I would love to see women excel. So my calling is to just see others thrive in general. And right now in this sphere, at this season, in this industry, I want to see women thrive. Ultimately that, everyone exceeding, excelling, thriving is always going to be part of my calling. But it's just right now in this industry, that in this life that I'm in, and how few people that there are, I want to come alongside them and motivate them and tell that story and encourage them so that they can pretty much endure during the journey, because we all know that no journey is easy, right? For it's the young ones. For me, it's just saying, woman, in this season of your life, let's come along. So that's what I wanted to share.
Hmm. But what about somebody saying like, there's no such thing as a calling. You just choose whatever job you like, what you're into. I mean, yes, what you describe, Malika, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. Yeah, all of those things that you describe, you can apply that in retail, in just the same way as you can in construction. So why construction? Why, what has that got to do with calling? Isn't that just a deliberate choice that you made as a reasonable adult?
No, because for me, that source started such at a young age, and nothing could unplug me from it. I've worked for other companies, business, yeah, in the retail sense, like you just said, earlier in my internships, and I could have switched gears and go to those because they offered me scholarship, some way, somehow, building infrastructures. And the people aspect in the infrastructure is meeting them, you meeting different people, you connecting with different people, you are achieving something greater. You are actually creating something greater. So for me, that's what I wanted to share.
And we've lost her again. Okay.
Oh no.
Right. Let me hear from you, Amma, about that question about how does somebody determine their calling or find their calling, if there is such a thing for them.
I think determining and finding your calling very much comes down to knowing who you are, knowing your likes, your dislikes, knowing what makes you tick, knowing what drains you as well. That's a very big thing. What spaces fill your cup and what spaces don't. Um, don't get me wrong, I think you can apply it to any industry. There are so many different roles that you can take in the world, in terms of the world of work. I think titles don't really, I mean, in my experience and what I believe, I don't think titles really mean much. What it comes down to is what you're doing each day and does that fill you up? I think a lot of reflection, still to this day, I always reflect on, is this a field that I should still be in? Is this a sector that I should still be in? And I know that I should still be in it because I reflect, but also because of the people that invested in me. They made me feel very secure in knowing who I am and knowing what gifts I have and what I would, not just I should be sharing with the world, but what I enjoy sharing with the world. Malika said like a really good point earlier on, is that she loves to see people succeed. She loves to see them thrive. And I don't think if you were doing a different role that you wouldn't see that. I don't think you'd last long. I don't think you'd want to invest your time in that. And it's the same for me. I think I know myself very well and have had the privilege to learn about myself. Definitely encouraged by you, Mildred, when we used to work together as well. There's certain books that I've read and certain things that I've learned about myself that has made me feel very secure in knowing who I am and what I want and what I want to do for this world. So I just encourage people to, yeah, if it's maybe that you just take time to reflect, is this an area that I'm working in where actually most days I don't really feel like I'm getting what I want out of it. It's not really something that's filling my cup. Yes, as much as work, you get paid to do it. It shouldn't just be a monetary transaction. I don't believe anyway. I definitely think that work should be feeding you in a way that is to do with your personal growth and your personal development as well. There is so much that I have learned over the years of being a youth worker that I wouldn't have learned about myself if I wasn't a youth worker. There are so many areas of my life that I've grown and developed that I wouldn't have if I wasn't a youth worker. So as much as youth work is very much seen as a job that you do out of the goodness of your heart, and no, that's probably why it's not paid so well, because you think, oh, it's just volunteering, yada yada. But actually, it gives back to me so much, and not in a, oh, I feel good because I've helped someone, but actually because it's helped me grow and it's helped me develop as a human being. And it's something that for me, in terms of the person that I am, and in terms of the way I learn and the way that I see the world, I wouldn't have gotten that in another role, another sector. So, like I said, I've had many different roles within the youth work sector. Um, but in terms of the people I engage with each day and the spaces that I'm in, I don't think I could even. I used to make jokes like, when I retire, I'll probably still volunteer doing youth work because it's something that has helped me to continue to grow in it. And I don't think I'll ever stop learning from youth work. And there's so many different ways you can do youth work. You can do youth work in a school, you can do youth work in prisons, you can do youth work in youth centres. And I've done all of those. And there's never been a space where I haven't learned something about myself and I haven't developed and I haven't grown. So yeah, I do think it just encourage people to, yeah, if you are feeling like, oh, this is just a job or this is just a role and I don't really know if I'm getting something out of it, take time to reflect. Do quizzes like Myers-Briggs, love languages, all of that jazz. I
Strength
love it.
finder. I love
Yes, Strengths
strength
Finders,
finder.
Gallup Strengths Finders. Read the book Quiet. Mildred recommended that book to me years ago. I just lent it to another friend the other day. Absolutely love it if you're an introvert. Malaica, you said something earlier about, I didn't know I was an introvert. I genuinely thought I was an extrovert. But yeah, I think knowing about yourself really helps, to know then what you love and what you want to give to the world. Yeah.
Yes, and going to the comment backhang. Don't worry, this is he's apologizing for hijacking a woman's platform. He says the content is just too inspirational to ignore. Don't worry, there's
Love
no
that.
hijacking. We're more than happy to have you on board with us. So, and I'm glad you're benefiting from it. So Malaica, you posted the recently, I think maybe last week or the week before, about your job, and you kind of listed how it's so aligned with your values and all the different ways, and that was really great. And this was on LinkedIn. You posted this. So how important? Can you tell us more about this whole process of finding a job that's aligned with your values? Why is that important? I mean, again, why does work need to align with your values?
I'll give you a quick example. For a previous employer I was working for, something I was asked to do that was just like a non-negotiable for me. Previous employer, again, I say that because I don't want somebody to go and look at my employer. Um, and I remember from the time that I was asked to do that thing, I stepped away from after the meeting. I went in a corner outside and I was like, okay, this is not the place. Like, it's one thing to have a value, it's another thing for you to apply that value, either
Mm.
within the company in itself. And
Yeah.
for you, when you say you have a value, for you to be able to apply that value, time. Are you shifting? Are you changing gears? Are you proving yourself not to be who you actually say you are? And it was a non-negotiable, Mildred. So right now, the example that you said is having my values aligned with that employer. While they describe it differently than I do, but it's actually good and healthy in the psychological aspect to see that I treasure those things. I can apply those things in and of it myself. Therefore, if I show up here and I have to be Malaica, I don't have to struggle with the values. And even if we are having open conversation in the company and something is asked of me that doesn't align, I can say, does this fall within our value as a company? And it's just as simple as that. It's not stepping on
Mm.
toes. It's not being disrespectful. It's not being mouthy. It's asking a question.
Mm.
So I treasure that. Those definitions were how I saw those values, and all of them actually are Lane Construction's value. And it is also healthy to see that it is relate to a lot of my peers because they treasure those things as well. Therefore, we can have good conversations that are molding around those values and how we do business. So that's, I was just thinking about it. And I was like, oh, check, check, check.
Mm.
And part of the things you taught us, I was like, let's talk about those.
Mm. I love it. I love it. And yeah, that there's great fulfillment when you can look up at work and know that actually where I'm working aligns with my values and my passions, my interests, my calling. So you can have that work life, as I like to call it, not work life balance, work life integration, where your
Yes.
work fits in with your life and it all flows nicely.
I- I'll
Yeah.
add one thing to what Amma had said earlier, just briefly.
Mhm.
Amma, I couldn't do what you do. Mildred, I couldn't do what you do. So that question about calling that you extended a little bit more.
Mm.
There's the technical aspect, there's the non-technical aspect, which is a whole lot. We're not just
Yeah.
gonna give a one one word. For engineering, yes, I love all the things about engineering, but when I show up, the non-technical aspect that I am able to apply the technical aspect is what makes it my calling,
Mm.
right? And the one thing you also mentioned, Amma, was like the development aspect, which right now, being a trustee, being a CEO, and elevating and bringing value so that and you can enter pour into those youth. For me, my development was from the technical aspect to now wanting to be a contract manager. And why is that? Because I love to communicate with clarity. I love to communicate openly. And my development in this industry was some 3 years ago before I returned to school says, I would love to enhance how contract is done in this business. Either with the owner, with the subcontractor, with the vendor. Nothing is ever perfect. Everything always needs to be innovated and be better. And I want to be value and added value to this industry as a whole through the single employer that I have because of who I am in my values. So, yes, what is the thing about calling? What is it that when you have to do the non technical aspect to anything, that you are actually loving it and happy? The sacrifice I'm doing is not easy, but it's a
Mhm.
non technical aspect for me to have to come here doing what I do and still bringing value to the industry as a whole.
Mm. I
Mhm.
love that. I love that. So it's a mix of skills and personality, and there's a whole like cocktail of things that go into the core, as well as the spiritual elements. Amma said you're a Christian, and so there's all that element that goes into as I am too, So okay, I love that. Let's switch because we're coming up towards the end, and this is called Visible Women on LinkedIn, and there's no way we're gonna talk about everything and not talk about being visible on LinkedIn. So I wanna ask you, ladies, like, so what we connected through my 8 weeks of visible program and stuff, but what was the point in your life where you realized that I need to be more visible? What was the catalyst, the trigger, and I need to do it on LinkedIn? What was that experience like for you? Talk to us about it. Whoever wants to go first can take this one.
In in a series of like 6 to 9 months, people were connecting me with friends, asking me my story. How do I do it? Friends were even like, Malaica, how do you? All of those things. So everyone goes back to the how do you part. And recently, Mildred, right before we started your series, it was also about I got contacted somebody from Washington D.C. It was like, you are a rare breed, and I'll say it. You are a unicorn in your field. You are black. You are a woman. You have a PE. Um, it seems like you love what you do. You are a mother. All that thing. I would love you to speak with the woman I have in my company to just encourage them so that they can study, you know, so that they can push and be more and further. Then it was like, Malaica, Mildred, that was my first post. You are hiding. You are hiding yourself. You are hiding your story. And others just want a glimpse of it, that the journey is not easy, but yet they can push through. So it is a privilege in that sense to just say, there is a platform. Mildred is willing to train me. Let's train your voice so that you may create allyship with others, so that they know the realness of things, so that we may strengthen the female gender in this industry, because they are interested, hence why they are coming to me. And even men are asking me to help them. So, how do we take this to the next step? So, that is part of that journey, part of that story, to share, to just be candid and open, and to
Mm,
just open for others to connect with me.
mm. So I'm gonna reinterpret it like this: by you being a light in your field, you can draw others, to you, towards, you can give hope, you can light a path to others just by you showing up. It's like that's why I like to say that being visible, it's like it's not just something we do because we got nothing better to do with our lives. It's like you become a beacon of light, and when you're yourself and you're visible, you give other women, other people in your sector the permission to also be visible. It's a massive encouragement, so just you standing up on that stage for yourself, you're now kind of being like a lighthouse for other people, other women in the industry. So that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Amma, what about
Thank you,
you?
Cortis, for your comment. Thank you, Cortis.
Yes, Amma.
Um, I love, yeah, Malika, what you just said. It got me a bit tricked up. So I was like, yes, like I hear it. I love that. Um, I think that the realization for me in terms of I've, I've been hiding, and I was very comfortable doing the work that I'm doing just on a small scale. In my eyes, very small scale. Whereas a few of my friends over the years have been like, I mean, you do a lot, but you can actually do so much more if you speak about it a bit more, connect. And I started realizing actually I can make more impact with other people on board. I think I've spoken about it before and posted about it before. The investment in young people should not just come from youth workers who are in the sector or teachers or people interacting and engaging with young people on a daily basis. The investment on young people is an investment in the future, and everybody should be doing that. It doesn't have to be money, it could be your time, it could be your skills, it could be your knowledge. And it was actually something one of my young people said to me to hold me accountable. And he was basically like, well, we had a long conversation over a few months, and we were just saying like, look, you said you're gonna try and make some moves and try and get some things done. And unfortunately, with youth work, people don't really care about us, and people don't really want to make moves, and people don't really want to invest in us. And I was like, no, I know there are people out there. I know there are people that care about you. Blah blah blah. Anyway, what got me to really like take LinkedIn seriously? I've been in LinkedIn for years. I'm an observer for the most part. But what really made me take it seriously is that actually I can do more if people see young people as an investment into their future, and also understand that it's really important, not just doing it because it's good, but actually it's the right thing to do. And I don't think that's just a biased opinion because I'm in the youth sector. Um, there is so much skills and knowledge out there, so much that can be shared with other people. And I really, yeah, I just realized that actually, in terms of a practical thing, LinkedIn is actually an amazing platform to do that, for people to learn about that and to understand. There are people on LinkedIn that I've even connected with whilst like just trying to improve my visibility that are in the youth work sector and have been speaking about this for a long time that I didn't even know. And it's been amazing to kind of find that community that's like, yes, come on, let's keep doing this, let's encourage each other. And one thing that Mildred mentioned to me when we first spoke before I joined the 8 Weeks to Visible on LinkedIn is about using my voice and people kind of not buying into it, but people hearing my voice and hearing what I want to speak about and supporting that. And that's what people really want to get into. So yeah, I think a number of things, but what really made me take the step to be like, okay, I'm going to invest in this is realizing that this can be really impactful for the young people that I'm trying to support and the young people that I'm trying to invest in. It can just be done on a wider scale. And I can't keep hiding just because I'm not that confident and I'm comfortable in doing what I do on a small scale. No, young people deserve better. And there is also a bit of confidence thing. Like I need to believe and know that I have a lot of experience and I know what I'm talking about. And it's not just a passionate thing, it's something that I'm very skilled at. Not everyone can be a youth worker. I'm very skilled at being a youth worker. And I have something to share. And if I share it, it will benefit the young people, not just the ones I'm directly working with, but young people in general and the youth sector. Yeah.
I love that. And Amma knows this because Amma and I know each other from, we used to work together a long time ago. And she's one of those people, the minute you meet her, her passion, her hard work, her ethics, I knew she was going places in life from way back then. So, and she's not even there yet. She's on her path to even more great places, you know? But I think what I hear from what you've just said, Amma, is that when the cause is bigger than yourself, you just have to do what it takes. You know, so the cause that you're trying to champion is much bigger than whether you're confident. I'm putting myself out there. It's like, forget me. I need to do this for the young people, you know, and because that mission, that cause, that passion is so much bigger, you're doing what it takes and you've made that decision and you've started that momentum to start being visible on LinkedIn and beyond. So that's going to have a great ripple effect for the people that you're called to. So that is absolutely brilliant. And we're bang on the hour now. So I'm literally gonna I want you to take 30 seconds each and I want you to just talk to the audience right now. Who are you trying to connect with, both of you, you know, from this? Because there could be people watching right now who are right in the, you know, the target audience that you want to reach. So give us in 30 seconds exactly the kind of people that you want to connect with on LinkedIn and how they can reach you after this conversation. Amma, you can go first.
Firstly, you can reach me on LinkedIn. Thanks. Who I'm trying to connect with. If you are an employer, a business owner, somebody who has knowledge and experience in any sector, connect with me. I really want young people to have the opportunity to expand their professional network, get opportunities to help them step into work in careers that they really want to step into and that they really want to love. So if you are in the space to be able to give young people that opportunity and invest in young people in that way, hit me up.
Awesome. Malika?
Well, for those of you in the US, we have an infrastructure bill that's going to allow us to build so much infrastructures, and we need people. And it's even better if we have people with passion. So just know that I love everyone, everybody, and I just represent a voice because we want more diversity, more women in this field. So if you are interested in the thriving of the construction industry above all, and that you want people to show up with passion, then please connect with me, and it will be on LinkedIn.
Yes, passionately put. I love it. I love it. And we are absolutely at the top of the hour. So, ladies, I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for sharing so openly and so passionately about the work that you do. So, if you are watching on here, I thank you for tuning in. If you're watching on replay, just put hashtag replay in the comments and please feel free to leave your comments. We will go through them and connect with you and react to show that you were watching. But we're gonna end the session here. And please do go and follow Amma and Malaica on LinkedIn and follow their content, reach out, connect with them. If there's anything good that you heard today from them, please let them know because sometimes we need that encouragement because sometimes we don't know how great we are. But when other people tell you, it's good. So Amma, Malaica, you two are awesome and you are great. But I'm going to
Thank
close
you.
out the show with a reminder to let you know that we've got one more episode of Visible Women on LinkedIn tomorrow with two final amazing guests, and you're going to really enjoy that. So bookmark the same time, 6 o'clock GMT, and join us back here tomorrow. But for now, good night, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is in the world. And Amma, Malika, thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Take
Thank
care,
you.
everybody.
See you guys. Goodbye.